Right, good morning, welcome back. Now, in the last one, I spent nearly all of my time just focusing on the first three fundamental things. That's getting the shape of it how I wanted it, to get this curve, to make it narrower in the front, and also focusing on the technical side of it to get this center section right in behind the tire, which obviously needs to be there, and at the same time getting that straight and true across the front so it's not twisted either way. So I've got all those right, I'm happy with that, and now I can just cut it down, chop it down, make it smaller and dinkier and move it in closer to the frame. But before I do that, I've got one little technical thing I just want to rectify, and that's on this left-hand seam down here where I welded it up last time. It's just a little tiny bit open, about 0.5 millimeter. You can see daylight down it. I don't just want to fill that in. What I want to do is just zip out the tack welds, bring that joint closer together and re-weld it so it's solid metal all across that joint, and I can grind it round and smooth it out without a gap. Anyway, let's do that first and then we can get cutting it down. Right, just to share this with you a little bit, if you're ever going to do this sort of thing yourself, I'm only a keen amateur with this, I'm not by any means a fabricator, but I do try and set myself a reasonably high standard. I want to show you closely in this joint exactly what the problem is and what I want to rectify first of all. Right, so here's the problem. The right hand joint, nicely sealed, the left hand joint, not so. And the problem comes from this little piece of the right hand panel down here. I just didn't shape it perfectly when I came to bring it together. Now I can't undo these welds and then bring that in because I'll lose the symmetry across the front that I've achieved. What I've got to do instead is bring this panel forward, and before I can do that, down here I have to just grind away that little bit of excess that I didn't do in the first place. That's all it is. From that point there down to about there, I've just got to shape that in, just bring that back a little tiny bit, and then I can move the whole panel forward and re-weld that whole seam up the left-hand side, and then it will be symmetrical and both joints will be sealed. That should solve the problem. Right, in the end, as you saw, the right thing to do was to remove the left side completely and re-weld it on from scratch. And I'm really happy that I did, because now that seam is completely closed as I intended it, and also everything is still square and central and true, and I'm really happy with that. So now I've got to start cutting it down. Obviously, I've got to expose the regulator rectifier. That would bring it down to about there, roughly, and then I've got to bring that line all the way down, and the same the other side, which is completely different. So it's not a process of just one cut and it's done. Nobody's that lucky. I've got to trim a little bit at a time until I'm happy with the way it looks, because you can't uncut a cut. So let's make a start. Right, okay, I think you'll agree that looks a whole lot better so far. The front area here for me is absolutely perfect. I love that, and I'm going to leave that exactly as it is. Not going to change a thing with that front area. The sides, however, they still look a bit meaty. I think you'll agree. I think we need to do a little something with that. They actually cover up the big ugly engine mount that's right there, and the same on the other side. But also going down the right hand side of the bike, it covers up the oil pump, the hoses and all that ugly wiring. And that's a good thing, because not only does it disguise it, it also protects it at the same time. So I think we need to leave the sheet metal on the sides, but to lighten the look of it, I think a good solution would be to slot some vent holes in it just to lighten the look. Let's do that. Right, here we are, a seriously long day, but these things take time. I came in this morning when it was dark, and if you look at the window behind me, it's pitch dark now, but that's how long it takes. And it's worth it when you get to this stage and it looks like that. I'm really happy. Now, these big vents in the side, they need filling in with something, not brass mesh, that would look a bit cheesy. It's got to be something more subtle than that, and I will come up with something. There's lots of options, I'll have a look around. Also, it's got to be connected to the frame somehow. Now, there's a bracket that goes across the frame about there, and it's got a hole in the middle. That's perfect, but I don't want a bolt right in the middle of my belly pan. So I'll have to come up with a way of hiding it or disguising it. Or maybe we'll French it down inside a little tube or something. That'll look nice. And also it's got to be connected at the back corners here to the frame. So a little bit of thinking to do there and some brackets to make. But the belly pan's made and I'm really, really happy. So there we are. Thank you for watching. Take it easy, ride safe. I'll see you next time.